How awesome is that? It's a self-driving Tata Safari. The Hubnut YouTube channel has been running for very nearly 12 years now, which I find incredible. But frankly, it's all been leading up to this. I am so excited because it's a Tata Safari. At long last, my dreams have been achieved. I've not purchased this car, but it is for sale. But we are going to explore around it, find out a bit more about what it is, and see why Autocar described it as Indian take it away. So you'll be not even slightly surprised to discover that Tata, that Indian engineering company that had existed for most of the 20th century, had their eye on the Land Rover Discovery. Ironically, they would end up owning Land Rover further down the line, but this was way before that was even a twinkle in their eye. So they were thinking, how can we rival the Land Rover Discovery? And this was their attempt, the Tata Safari. And in terms of looks, it's not quite there. The proportions are a little weird, but nonetheless, it's a big, chonking, great 4x4. It's on a separate chassis. It's got 7 seats. The rear seats face sideways, just like the original Land Rover Discovery. But let's take a closer look at this very interesting vehicle. Incredibly, this was the dealer demonstrator that was purchased by the current owner, Peter's father, back in 1999. So it's on a W plate, and a big bash plate down here is going slightly crispy because this is lived outside. This is why the paint lacquer is ruined. It's been outside. It has not done a great many miles. It's below 40,000 miles, but what a machine, eh? There's bits I like, and then there's bits not quite so much. But Peter's father was getting on a bit, so there are a few mods to try and make his life easier, like these extra drop down steps. And unfortunately, Peter managed to damage the lock cleaning the car the other day. Some of the plastics are very, very friable, is the word I'm going to use. Huge door opens up, and it's beeping because I've left the key in the ignition. Oh, that stops it. There we go. The seat has also been raised to make it easier to drive, and there is a hand operated brake pedal to try and make life easier. But look at that for an interior. The plastic quality, not the best. Several attempts to try and repair that doesn't fit very well, and this kind of ties in with my experiences with a Rover City Rover that I owned a few years ago, which of course was actually a Tata Indica, itself an Indian car. But I think in terms of the dash styling, obviously a very close eye on Land Rover, especially with the column stalks. Very familiar to anyone who's owned a Land Rover Discovery, a Range Rover, LDV van, Metro, Maestro, Montego. They all had those stalks. I think we've got indicators left by the look of it. Wipers right, as would be the preference in a right-hand drive developed car. Buttons here. That must be... Oh, that's your fuel. That's your fuel flap release. That's violent. Rear wiper. And you know, the switches aren't the best, but apparently we've got the air conditioning. You'd expect that to be good in a vehicle developed in India. And 5-speed manual gearbox, and selectable with an electronic control, 4 high and 4 low. I believe if we step outside, I think you have to manually lock in the front hubs, or you can lock them or have them in auto. So that's what's going on there. This one's a little crispy in places. Like I say, it's been sitting outside almost all of its life. Let's go and see what suspension we got on the back. I believe it's a multi-link on the back and torsion bar at the front, I think. But yeah, it's just a fascinating vehicle. Before I hop aboard, we'll go and have a look at the back. Here's the rear styling, and it's a bit generic. We're here at Johnson's Coaches, because Peter is the trainer here, and Johnson Coaches, I'm going to do a separate hub notes because it's a company I hold in very high regard. And we're going to open the back. There's the Tata badge, and in the back here we've got a few spares, and we've got the seats, which, like a Land Rover Discovery, sort of fold down. The difference is these seem to be self-supporting. The Discovery had a little section under there. I'm going to try and get in, but it's quite high. So wish me luck. Run up. Whee! The Discovery has more headroom in the back with its more pronounced roof bump. It's a bit tight here. I'm going to say kiddies only. There are seat belts, but to be honest, we learnt around this time that sideways seats were not the best. The big problem for the Tata Safari is the Discovery changed around this time to the Discovery 2, which was much improved, had forward-facing extra rear seats and a little bit more length, as well as that glorious TD5 engine. Don't worry, we'll get to engine. You're going to love the engine. Let's try the middle row for size. Open huge rear doors. They are absolutely enormous. And clamber in. Oh, all the way up. Oh, that's a bit better. Much more headroom here in the middle row. I'm 5'10", and no armrest, but the seat does split fold. And yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Things like the electric window switches, the door handles themselves. Yeah, obviously the quality is not the best, but it's worth remembering when these came out. I think Peter's father paid around £16,000 for this car. A Discovery was well over £20,000, so they were cheap, really cheap for what you got. And we're even going to have a go at do some proper off-roading in it, so stay tuned for that. But knee room, bags of it, loads of space, and there's even vents here in the back, which is quite fancy. You can see the extra height with these massive brackets that have been gained, and of course the front seats get these arm restraints, which are intriguing. So have a quick hop in the front and we'll go and have a proper look at the dashboard and everything. And it's very high up because of this adapted seat. So the steering wheel is kind of down here, and I can't see the top of the speedometer or the rev counter. So there they are. They've even almost copied the graph paper style of the Land Rover. But oh, we get an extra honk to let us know we're definitely indicating. That's cool. Got a glove box over here. Yeah, that's quite good. Turbocharged engine, run engine in low idle speed for at least 1 minute after starting, and also before stopping. There we go. I really like it. It's full of character. Lights, just sellotaped together. Yeah, quality not the best, I'm going to say, but I've still got headroom, even though I'm kind of sitting all the way up. But that's my view of the controls, and that's less than ideal. We've also got a sticker here that I kind of thinking they should have removed. Change engine oil and oil filter cartridge. First at 8,000 kilometers, and then thereafter at every 8,000 kilometers, and during PDI. Lots of lovely little stickers. So there's your pedals. The clutch seems to return a little sluggishly. It's fine. But yeah, look at that, 39,450 miles. Wow. Right, are we ready for the engine reveal? Ta-da! It's an old Peugeot engine. It's the legendary Peugeot XD. It came before the XUD. This dates back to like the 404 of the 1960s. This one seems to be leaking stuff everywhere. I don't know quite why it's coated in quite so much gunk. It's impressive. But good old mechanical fuel pump, and it's a 2 litre, well technically a 1.9, 1948cc, and there is a turbocharger down here. Yeah, it's got all the stickers everywhere, air conditioning, where you should set your headlamps. Look, there's even a little, oh, it doesn't work. Oh, that's a shame. There's a little light under here. Huge screen wash bottle. But there we go, 1948cc and about 90 brake horsepower. To move all this, that can't be good. That cannot be good. But yeah, wow. So much I don't really understand. What's all this? Is that a way of getting water out of the fueling? I don't know. Brand new alternator fitted. Just before just before Peter's father unfortunately passed away earlier this year, he liked things to be done on it and to have it turnkey ready, even though he was barely driving it in recent years. So that's quite admirable. I think there was a petrol engine option as well, and later the Safari lived on way beyond UK sales. They fitted the HDI engine, to these in 2.2 litre form, I think. Oh, I think we need to look at a bit of the paperwork before we get carried away. Safari accessories. What could you do to your Safari? You could fit a roof spoiler, soft bull bar, tow ball. Wait, it has one of those. I don't know if that's the factory one or not. Cargo area, blind side steps. That's it. That's all you've got. And then there's oodles of history, MOT certificates going back through the years. And somewhere in here is the original bill of sale. There it is. Oh, actually, it was the year 2000 it was registered. And then it was sold to Peter's father in September 2000 for £13,650. And he got a grand for his Range Rover. 1982 Range Rover. He actually traded a Range Rover in for a Tata Safari. And apparently liked it, because he used it a lot. So there you go, history of it. Where's that? That's 2006. Timing belt changed. Yeah. Wow. Lots and lots of history going on. We've got the original owner's handbook. We might want to have a look at that. There we go. Seatbelts. Yeah, I know how to use a seatbelt. All the driver controls. That's almost a hand-drawn image. I think it probably is a hand-drawn image. Wow. Gear change. The wipers. Yeah, lovely. Lovely stuff. Adjusting your seat. Yeah. All this information about all the different fluids to use. That is lovely. It's really low tech. The original registration card. Notes, if you've got any notes. 6-year anti-perforation program. I think that may have lapsed by now, unfortunately. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Right, I've got to get used to this slightly strange driving position, but nonetheless, we shall turn on the ignition, wait for the glow plugs. It likes quite a lot of glow plug, apparently. And yeah, that is agricultural. Now, to be fair, a Land Rover Discovery TDI, which would have been the benchmark when this came out, was not the most refined engine. The TD5 was a different kettle of fish, but a TDI itself is quite basic. I know we're on private ground, but I'm going to put this on. The vehicle has no MOT, so I cannot drive it out on the road, but we're going to drive around this car park, and then I'm going to take it out in a field. So that should be fun. So here we go. This is another spare wheel out the back of this car. And so far, yeah, feels pretty decent to me. Steering's actually quite nice. That's got a lovely weight to it. Yeah, acceleration, it kind of doesn't. And now I've got to find the right gap to get into the field. Where was my gap? Not there. But yeah, proper low slogging diesel engine. I think it's this one here. That's the one. Let's off-road. Oh yeah. It's an off-road road test. We haven't done a wiper test. So we get that out of the way. Oh, there we go. There's the wash. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's an awful triangle of doom there. That reminds me, it's not quite as bad as the City Rover. The City Rover, also by Tata, the worst triangle of doom I've ever seen. That's where you get this triangle here and it dribbles everywhere. But we're certainly having no problems driving around this field. We're still in two-wheel drive. I don't know whether I dare try putting it in low box, because it probably hasn't done a fat lot of that in its life. But shall we risk it? We're going to neutral. 4 high, 4 low is flashing. Let's see if we've achieved 4 low. Oh yeah, we definitely have. Now it's locked in. Yeah, the hubs hadn't locked in. So we are now in low first gear, and as you can see, it is very low indeed. We're barely moving. That's really low. That's an awesome off-road crawler gear. Oh, that's indicators. Still got me dribbles going on. They're upsetting me. In fact, I could probably... We're going so slowly, I can probably just get out. How awesome is that? It's a self-driving Tata Safari. I'm just going to get back in without killing myself. I've never done that on a test drive before. That is really low. I don't know if there's a centre diff, so I'm not going to try doing too many tight turns with it in low, but that's like flat out in low first. That's crazy. I can't believe that all still works. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to go back to too high, I hope. Probably need to reverse to disengage the front hubs. It's usually the case. There we go. Wow. It seems to ride pretty well, I'm going to say. This is not exactly a smooth field, and it's doing a grand old job. Smash our way through the vegetation. Brilliant. Yeah, it's a very, very old school diesel engine, but actually it's quite smooth. I mean, Peugeot did do a good job, or rather Indenor did a good job. That was the company that developed this, and Peugeot bought that company. Getting a bit bogged down here in the deep grass. Back to first. Well, I didn't expect to be driving this round a field today. Or indeed drifting it round a field today. Yeah, the seat's a bit firm. It's not the most comfortable, but and of course the driving position is so odd because I'm so raised. If you bought it, you would want to drop that down, but it's so hard to find one of these for sale. There is one more on Gumtree at the moment. It's got a knackered slave cylinder, bright red, down in Somerset, I think it is. Not that I keep my eye on the classifieds, you understand. Right, boot it. Yeah, it's not that bad at all, really. How about handling? Whoa, okay, yep. The driving position doesn't help. You sit so high up, it feels a little wobbly, but this is very, very interesting. I wasn't expecting this to actually be as refined as it is. I think, to be fair, when road testers were testing these new, this would not be good enough. This would just be too flimsy. But as a purchase today is for something a bit odd. Yeah, interesting. It's not so much turbo lag as turbo not. But, well. I've just noticed a mystery button, but the label's gone. What does that do? No idea. I'm going to play with these buttons very shortly, but I've just noticed that the dashboard and the door cards don't exactly match, do they? I quite like the vent in the door, but that seems to be blue. I don't know if that's faded blue. And the dashboard very grey. And they just failed to marry the two neatly together. But nonetheless, I actually quite like it. Look at this old head unit. Long Mill is that. Never heard of it. Right, rear wash. Rear wash not working, but we do get the wipe. Pretty decent performance. That covers a lot of rear window, I think. Even if the parking is a little clumsy, just sort of sat down there in the corner, it does work. Well, well, well. Beep, beep, beep. I have found that fascinating. It's been lovely to finally try one of these. Even if I couldn't take it out on the road, that would have been even better. But I've really enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed that little insight too. If you're interested in taking this on, and I've kind of shown it's definitely not free of issues, get in touch with me in the first instance, ian@hubnut.org, and I can put you in contact with Peter, the owner. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Farewell. Tata Engineering. Be not even slightly surprised to learn that I don't know what I'm on about.